Hello and welcome to Kimboshi Sumo, an outlet where we cover the time-honored art of two large men striking one another in an extremely particular and particularly entertaining fashion. And today, we're going to have a little exercise in humility before the basho kicks off full swing tomorrow. That's right, it's time for some incredibly irrational sumo hot takes. Just before a new basho starts, my excitement level gets pretty out of hand to the point that I start making ridiculous claims about what I think will happen during the tournament, regardless of how achievable they are. So, in an effort to capture some of that overzealous enthusiasm and share it with you all, I thought I'd toss out 3 hot takes for Osaka. Oh, and if any of you aren't immersed in the American sports coverage concept of a hot take, just think of it as a bombastic statement made particularly because of how incendiary or likely it is to create a heated discussion. These are not smart claims, and I would expect to be way wrong about these 9 out of every 10 times, but they're fun, and hey, on the 1 out of 10 time that I happen to hit one, maybe I look like a genius, I don't know. But regardless, I thought that'd be a fun way for us to maybe start some conversations just before the basho. So without further ado, here are my 3 hot takes to embarrass myself before the 2022 March tournament. When he's on his game, Tochinoshin is one of the most exciting rikishi for me to watch. His full-force power sumo, lifting up 150 kilo men like they're little children as they kick their little legs underneath him and setting them down outside the ring is always impressive. But unfortunately, ever since his 2019 ACL injury, he has struggled to show the same level of power with the same consistency he did early in his career on his charge up to Ozeki. This basho, however, I'm predicting 10 wins and one last blaze of glory for the Georgian. Of the 15 wrestlers between Maegashira 10 and Maegashira 17, his most likely opponents this basho, only 3 outweigh Toshinoshin's 182 kilograms. Those are Aoyama, Yutakayama, and Chiyotairyu. And 8 of them are less than 160 kilos according to their official Grand Sumo stats, meaning this could be a perfect springboard for him to redeploy his power sumo game against smaller wrestlers, even with a bum knee. Size doesn't always mean everything in sumo though, but as a former Ozeki fighting at Maegashira 15, he has a wealth of experience beyond many of his fellow rikishi down this far in the Bansuke, and that should really be something he can take advantage of. He's always been great on the Mawashi, so if he can overpower some smaller and less experienced wrestlers and deploy some keiji intellect from his vast experience against the larger veteran opponents, it could be the perfect recipe for a return to glory from Tochinoshin. On the other side of the double-digit coin, however, Shodai's rise to Ozeki, and especially that last tournament of his at Sekiwake, were incredibly exciting, where he went 13-2, won the Yusho, the Shukunsho Outstanding Performance Award, and the Kanto Sho Fighting Spirit Award, all in one tournament. He definitely deserved to be promoted to Ozeki after that. But since that September 2020 tournament, he has recorded just 1 double-digit record since and is Kadoban again. He's at risk of losing his rank for the 3rd time in that scant stretch of time. Now, I personally love his style. He's got this excellent technique and he can grapple with and control his opponents with just his hands on their body, not even any kind of grip on the Mawashi, which is really impressive. And he also really started to turn things around after his loss to Mitakayumi in the last basho and really looked like he was starting to show some Ozeki pride, making me think, hey, this guy might be a dark horse for the next tournament. But then February happened and he, like a lot of rikishi, caught COVID, but recently he said his voice is still hoarse and he doesn't feel like he's fully recovered from his infection. If he is indeed suffering from long COVID and going into a tournament without much momentum, it seems like disaster and demotion could sadly be on the horizon for the big bear from Kumamoto. But while COVID may be Shodai's downfall, it could actually be a blessing in disguise for one wrestler. Former Ozeki Takayasu was challenging for a Yusho in this tournament last year, opening up 9-1 in March before closing out the tournament 1-4 and falling into a 6-way tie for 3rd, behind 11-4 Aoyama and champion 12-3 Terunofuji. He posted another 10-5 record the very next tournament in May, but injuries plagued him for both of July and September's tournaments, and in November, even though he finished every match, he never looked healthy and finished 6-9. That sadly was the final flourish in this fall from Sanyaku, as Takayasu crashed all the way to Maegashira 7 to Open 2022, a far cry from his previous Ozeki status. Then his fresh start in 2022 was cut off before it even began, as a COVID infection in his stable forced him, as well as all his stablemates, to withdraw from the Hatsubasho without even contesting a match for health and safety reasons. This, however, could prove to be Takayasu's secret weapon in March. He hasn't looked healthy or in form since March of 2021, and sumo is a brutal sport that rarely gives wrestlers enough time time between basho to fully recover. Being forced to sit out January, however, afforded Takayasu a rare opportunity to miss a tournament without being demoted and without suffering a new injury. I believe this extra time off will be exactly what he needs to recapture his March 2021 form and put up 12 wins and fight for the Yusho to the very last day. And if he can do me one step better and grab that 13th win, he'll likely win the whole thing and begin his climb back to his rightful place atop the Bansuke. So there you have it, folks. 3 hot takes sure to go disastrously wrong, so feel free to come back and comment on this video when Shodai is hoisting the Emperor's Cup, but for now, that's all I've got for you as we wait for the tournament to kick off in less than 24 hours. I'd love to read your own hot takes for the upcoming tournament in the comments below, so please share them if you got them. Other than that, I'll see you all again after day 8 with a mid-tournament recap, but until then, thanks for watching everybody and enjoy the tournament.